Guys, today is Friday, and yay, Friday! All right, so today in math we had our division test. You can go ahead and do that now. It's on Seesaw right here. Go ahead and do that if you missed today. And then we worked on that the whole entire time during math. So once you're done, go ahead and turn in. You have your on Seesaw here. You have your math, whole group, and independent work. Make sure that gets turned in for today. Then in reading today, we continued talking about tall tales, and that was in your whole group reading right here. So today we read about Molly Brown. We compared two different books with some information about her, and we talked about her character, and we discussed why her story is being shared. And so here, tells all about her, and then there's a little section. It's down here. That page 29 has a little snippet about Molly Brown, and you can read about how she saved several people on Titanic. And so you're going to answer the comprehension questions from the story here, and then you're going to find if there were some things that were different or the same, go ahead and putting them there. And then I want you to think about after that, once you look at her actions and things like that, what can you tell about Molly Brown's character? So, when she saved all those people, what does that say about her and the type of person she is? And then why do you think her story is told? So, when she has this true story about saving people on the Titanic, but then a lot of her story has been very, very exaggerated. So why do you think, why do you think those things were added into her story, and why, we just think about why that story about her, why are we talking about it today? So what was the reason behind that? Just talking about that author's purpose. And then this is the last page of that, so you can go ahead and turn this in, and then make sure whether you were group C or group AB, please turn in your small group. Make sure you have your story recorded. And then today we gave lots of time for the comprehension questions that are at the end. But make sure the activities that we did together, that these are done, and that each page you recorded and you have your story read there. Then in writing today, we continued working with the dialogue, which is right here. So Monday through Friday writing dialogue. And so here at the end, we started talking about other ways, instead of just saying, she said this and he said that and so on. We looked at some other words that could be replaced instead of using said. So we started right here. So you've got a word bank down here. We filled in those. We looked at this. And then excuse me. And then we looked at some of the common patterns. So here you have the speaker at the end. Here you have the second pattern was having the speaker at the beginning. Here you have the speaker in the middle. And if you notice, we've got in the center of each pattern, we've got those quotation marks and those commas being used. So be on the lookout for those as you're writing. And then we looked here. So this is kind of just summing up what we've done this week. So here's a passage, and it's without the dialogue tags. So we went through here and we corrected that. And then that can be turned in. We skipped page 31. So this can, once you type that out, that can be turned in. And then we went to Seesaw and we got into our writing. And so today we did some peer editing. So if you look on the agenda, we edited and revised with the partner, and then publish and share. So here we went, oops, this one. So your final can be typed up here. So you're taking those pieces from way back on page 3 with your introduction, oh, excuse me, your body and your conclusion, all those little parts that we worked on, and then you piece them together here. And then on Google Classroom, the Share Your Writing, there's a Flipgrid link right here where you can read what you wrote and be able to turn that in or to record yourself reading your story so your classmates can hear. And then in science today, we watched this video. This is also a video, but we watched this one together. And we did our investigation with our orange. So if you did not get to make it today, this is what we did. So we took our orange. Let me pull this up here. All right, so we took our orange around the middle where the equator is. We drew the line there, and this line separates the northern hemisphere from the southern hemisphere. And then we took our skewer and we put it just right through the middle. And then when you have your tilt, the tilt is about 23.5 degrees. And so we were showing different ways that we could model with our, we were talking about the reasons for the seasons. And so let me get my paper over here. All right, so all right, so here's the model. So let's say we have the orange is Earth, and the skewer part here, or the toothpicks, whatever you used, that was representing, or that was showing how the tilt. It's not, it's not straight up and down. There's a tilt to it here, and so we can spin this, and as we go around, we're day, night, day, night, and when we get into these different positions, the tilt. Oops, I'm holding it wrong. The tilt is the same. Okay, so it continues to spin around. Sorry, I didn't know I was not in the middle of the screen. All right, let's try this again. So here, as it's spinning, this is day, night, day, night. So as it's going around, that tilt is the same. Day, night, day, night, day, night, day, night. Goes all the way around. And once it gets back, that's been 1 year. Well, we took our flashlights. So let me get my light over here. And we talked about, okay, if the sun is shining on my model right here, so on my Earth, we talked about the difference between direct and indirect sunlight. So the light is hitting directly on the southern hemisphere. So the one that's getting the direct sunlight, that is the one that it's experiencing summer. Now, the northern hemisphere is still getting, you can still see the light, but it's not direct. It's called indirect light. And so the light energy, when you have a, let's say, if I were to shine my light and I concentrated it in one spot here, you can see all of this area right here is that direct light. This area right here in the outside is also getting lit up, but it's not, that's the indirect light. So direct, it's a lot stronger. It's concentrated more in this one little area here. Indirect, it's still light, but it's spread out over a greater surface. So the light, I wasn't changing the amount of light energy or heat energy or anything like that. It's just being spread in this greater area. So that's why when you have, let me go back. That's why when you have these positions here, if you look at the one where you have the southern hemisphere is getting that direct sunlight and the northern hemisphere is not, then the southern hemisphere here is experiencing summer, while the northern is winter. Then over here, the sun is shining and it's hitting, and now the direct sunlight, the northern hemisphere, this north pole is tilted towards the sun. Over here, it was tilted away from the sun, but now it's tilted toward the sun. So now the northern hemisphere is having their summer, and the southern hemisphere is having their winter. Okay, because now they're tilted away. So it's not like when it's wintertime, the sun just like we're living in complete darkness. We're still getting sunlight. It's just all of that heat energy has to spread over a greater amount, a greater surface amount. And so that's why it's colder and all that in the winter. We're not getting as much of that direct sunlight hitting us. All right, so we talked about that and we took some notes and we put those in our notebook. And then for social studies today, there's a link here you can click, and we finished the Friday page in Google Classroom, so that can be turned in today. And then make sure your science, there's still corrections that I need to look over, but 4 people still have not turned in, so make sure your science got turned in. This is your Flipgrid, your social studies, your writing that we did, and then in Seesaw, you have your division test. Once you see that I send this back to you, go ahead. If you want to start looking at corrections if you need, go ahead. And then each one, it's 10 questions, so each one is 10 points, so you can check your grade there. Once I send that back to you, then your science should be turned in today, your writing, your group work, your whole group for reading, and your work for your math. And that is everything. All right, guys, I will see you next week. I hope you got all your stuff in. If not, please get it in soon. Thanks.